All right. Well, today we're gonna be addressing the issue of homelessness in California. How can can you tell me a little bit about this issue?
Yes, well, the homelessness issue has become a issue for a lot of people. The stereotype of a homeless person, they're just a person who doesn't
Yeah,
want to work or like that. Uh, just a vagrant, but that's not really the case. Many people who are homeless or unhoused uh, are people who are working jobs, but because of the cost of living in California,
yeah,
they can't afford rent. And so they live in their cars, they live in their vans. Many college students are homeless or unhoused in terms of that.
yeah,
Uh, they couch surf, meaning they don't know
yeah,
where they're going to stay night to night, but they stay at a friend's house here, another friend's house there, maybe relatives there. So it creates a situation of instability
yeah,
and it's not a person's fault. I mean, it's an income issue. It's not a responsibility issue, and
yeah,
we need to address it from that point of view and make sure that people have adequate housing. In fact, last night I was at a housing uh, event uh,
yeah,
to discuss that and talk about solutions about how we can work things and make things better. Uh, there are some candidates running for governor in California who want to make homelessness a crime. They want to lock people up,
yeah,
and that really goes back to the days of the Jim Crow South when they used to grab people, particularly black men, and put them on a chain gang. Um,
yeah,
you can't criminalize people because they either were downsized because of their job or AI's taking their job away.
yeah,
They can't afford the rents, as I mentioned, and so that's a lot of the issue with that. And we really need to come up with some concrete solutions. The status quo is not acceptable.
yeah,
Many of the programs that I've seen basically keep things in place. They don't really find solutions. And I
yeah,
think we need a working,
yeah,
manageable task force to deal with the homeless or unhoused issues, that consist of, community leaders, civic leaders, average people who encounter homelessness, homeless advocates, and homeless people themselves. They need to be part of
yeah,
the equation and have a committee that comes up with some real concrete solutions, not just maintaining
yeah,
the status, but how can we eliminate it moving forward and make sure that people have a roof over their head, just basic fundamental needs.
yeah,
Usually with homelessness or unhoused, food insecurity is not far behind. So we need to make sure that people have a roof over their head, that they have, adequate food, and that they're able to,
yeah,
get themselves on their feet. And and so in California, we spent last year close to $20 billion on homelessness. And
yeah,
with that kind of money, you should be able to make some impact, have a great change.
yeah,
But we don't have that here, mainly due because there's no real concrete uh, system to monitor where the money went, how it was spent, and
yeah,
what the results of all the money being spent, uh, and how it's made an impact in a positive way in terms of eliminating the homeless problem. Because if
yeah,
you're spending $20 billion in one year, there should be some positive results from that expenditure of taxpayer dollars.
yeah,
And uh, and we're not seeing that here in California. In fact, it's gotten worse.
yeah,
And we need to put the brakes on that and find solutions and ways to eliminate it. And the solutions may be different depending on the area. In urban or suburban areas, they may have one solution, while as in more rural areas, they may have a different
yeah,
solution. So we need to be flexible and be able to meet people where they are and support people uh, no matter what community they live in, because it is an issue that needs to be addressed fully. And
Yeah.
and my progressive agenda, certainly works with homelessness, also with free community college. We certainly need that for people. We
Yeah.
had it in the 60s and the 70s, early 80s. There's no reason why we can't have it now if we do our dollars right, because it's an investment in our future. Uh, we need more taxpayers, not people who are in the school to prison pipeline taking taxpayer dollars
Yeah.
uh, away for purposes of incarcerating people. We need to have programs to support people, um, stop the recidivism,
Yeah.
give them training, and once people have served their time, depending on the situation, let them come out and work. Let them be taxpayers instead,
Yeah.
and that's less likely to commit more crimes in the future. Also, part of my plan, and this also deals with homelessness, women's health. Um, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things going on. Actress Halle Berry spoke about women in midlife, and Gavin Newsom, our governor, didn't sign the bill to support that right away until he was embarrassed on 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 the media. But I would sign something like that right away because it's important.
Yeah. It
And
is.
also with that, supporting families with prenatal care, and in California, the way and nationally, the way our tax system works, if you have a child, say, born December 31st, you get to deduct that full year off your tax return in April.
Yeah.
But if the child's born January 1, then you have to wait another full year before you can make that
Yeah.
tax credit deduction. And I believe we should, people have expenses and so forth. And I believe that if a child is born March 31st, on or before March 31st, then they should be able to deduct the previous year's, uh, get that
Yeah.
deduction off their taxes, because going back 3 months, given our science today, that's a viable birth, 3 months. So let's go 3 months forward, March
Yeah.
31st, you can still have that deduction. And I think that'll help out a lot of working families to have
Yeah.
that benefit. Yeah, yeah. And just working together as a community. There are a lot of things going on um, uh, that we need to deal with. We have a lot of immigrants in California who been here a while, good citizens. We need to have a pathway for citizenship for our
Yeah.
undocumented people in California. Uh, we can't do anything nationally, but we can have a California citizenship, and that will create stability for people, peace of mind. We don't have to worry about businesses being raided. People can feel safe in their communities. And the federal government will try to impose their rules. But my proposal for ICE is that we need to have a plan that deals with that
Yeah.
behavior, because they are, in fact, kidnappers. And I propose an amendment to Penal Code 207 stating that if you are masked or unmasked, you have no badge or ID, no warrant by a judge, and you're in an unmarked vehicle trying to move people from place to place, you're a kidnapper. And law enforcement should
Yeah.
serve and protect the community against kidnappers. And everyone should have the legal, lawful, and human right to safely evade and elude kidnappers by any means necessary. Because right
Yeah.
now we have people who are afraid to come out of their homes. Children are afraid to go to schools. People are afraid to go to the doctor because they're afraid
Yeah.
of ICE. And that's not really what America is all about. People should not be living in fear. And I think it's a win-win
Yeah.
if we create a pathway for citizenship for people. They can feel comfortable. Society will benefit from that.
Yeah.
We can be whole as opposed to being, separate in thinking and not have a second-class citizenship rig. Let's let people earn their way, work their way through a process that
Yeah.
that benefits them, that benefits our communities. And a pathway for California citizenship is that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
the homelessness issue affecting differently, the cities, LA and the more urban areas compared to the most rural areas in the north of the state, for example.
Yes. Well, it depends on the individual or whether there's a family. There tends to be more family homelessness within cities
Yeah,
because the services are there. However, depending on the person, if they're more rugged, so to speak, they may go out in rural areas, pitch a tent somewhere, and live off
yeah,
the land uh, for fairly much. They're not necessarily the counted in the unhoused numbers, but they certainly are um, unhoused.
yeah,
LA has a particular issue with blocks of homelessness, encampments, and
yeah,
we certainly need to support the people, but we need to deal with that process of why they're there. How can we move them from the place that they are? And let's look at some designated areas for homeless where they can get services and so forth. Um,
yeah,
and where they can feel safe, where the community can feel safe, and where they can be supported. Uh,
yeah,
it is an issue all over. And I think if we have a
yeah,
plan in terms of where zoning areas where homelessness, unhoused people can be, because right now in various areas they're having various sweeps from time to time, moving people, taking their uh, property or their belongings, sweeping it up, throwing it away.
yeah,
Uh, we need to, I mean, that's all they have is what they have. And so
yeah,
providing designated areas where they can be comfortable, where they're not going to be menaced or bothered, and also businesses and small businesses and community people can feel safe walking the streets. They don't have to worry about it. Um, about anything or their
yeah,
kids going to school. That is a concern that some people have in terms of that. So we need to look at both sides of the equation and find
yeah,
safe spaces for the homelessness where community members feel safe and homeless who are part of our community, that they feel safe
yeah,
also, and where people can coexist peacefully and um, and again have solutions, uh, education, counseling, have programs where we can work with uh, the unhoused population and create space for
yeah,
them to be uh, safe and so forth. As I mentioned, students couch surfing, we need more housing in our colleges and so forth, more
yeah,
affordable housing, so students don't have to worry about a place to live. If they don't live on campus, then they have to get an apartment, and the apartments are can be
yeah,
twice as much, if not more than
yeah,
what, say, student housing would be. So we need to find solutions for that, and building more housing so students can meet their basic needs. If you're a student, I've been there. You want to focus on your classes, your studies. You don't want to have to
yeah.
worry about where
Been
you're going
there
to
too.
sleep that night. Yeah, yes. Yeah. You don't want to have to worry about where you're going to
Yeah,
sleep that night. So that helps them, that helps the college, that helps society
yeah,
in the long run. So we need to be proactive and not blame the victim, but see how we can support people, because many people just want support and they can, take it off from there.
yeah.
And we need to make that happen.
Yeah, I want to know how this crisis is affecting mental health in the state of California.
Yes, oh, definitely. Has an impact, especially during the pandemic. That's when we really saw the mental health
Yeah,
issues skyrocket. There was a lot of one-time money during the pandemic to work with mental health, not just on the streets, but also in schools and other
yeah,
places. And there were counseling services, wellness centers, Uh, Mental health specialists were hired to support communities. But
Yeah.
that one-time money is now gone, but the need is still there. And so we need to look at how we can fund that and make that also part of a broader issue of community
Yeah.
support and dealing with the mental health aspect of it. Because many people, they need that support. They need that counseling. They need to be able to sit down and talk to somebody and work out a plan for what their next step is, so they can avoid, self-harm or other issues that may
Yeah.
impact them personally. And so creating a stability for people who are homeless uh, to survive, not just survive, but to thrive, and where they can have a pathway to a better life. I think that gives people hope. And when people have hope, that is a good
Yeah.
benefit for mental health. It, a lot of mental health issues are when people have hopelessness. They don't feel their condition is going to get any better, or in fact, may even get worse.
Yeah.
And so, to avoid that, we need to really get in there, get in with the community, and the services can't just stay in buildings and so forth. They need to get out into the community and work directly with the people, because a lot of the unhoused, they may not know where to get those services,
Yeah.
or how to connect with them. And so, the services need is to be proactive in terms of reaching out and getting into the communities where the unhoused people are, and work with them and support them and give them the resources and the support they need to move out of their
Yeah.
condition and a pathway for a better life.
Yeah. To thrive.
To thrive, that exactly. Not just
Yeah.
survive, but to thrive. Yes.
Well, I don't know if there's anything else you would like to mention.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, just overall, in terms of the housing issue in California
yeah.
is out of sight, and it's only getting worse. And we certainly need to build more housing and so forth, more affordable housing. Although the word affordability is really out of the reach of many people, but we
Yeah.
need to build more housing. We need to cut a lot of the red tape so they can be done quicker. But we're still 3, 4 years out in terms of complexes and housing being built. More of an immediate impact would be to uh, keep housing affordable where we are, and also keep foreign money out of the housing market. A lot of
Yeah.
Californians are being outbid by investors who pay all cash and outbid Californians for homes, and they're not even living in the homes. They raise our
Yeah.
housing costs, our property values, are more in taxes, and they contribute to the shortage of housing because they don't want to be landlords. No one's living in the property. They're just buying it to let it sit and as an investment. And most of the time, they're not even maintaining the property. The lawn is not being kept up. If it's painted,
Yeah.
does it? They're not maintaining it to that degree. So by keeping foreign money out of our market
Yeah.
and basically having a rule and a policy that if you don't live or work in California, you can't buy a home. Homes are
Yeah.
for people who are living and working in California. That would have an immediate impact on the housing market because it would take that competition off the table. And so prices would become more stable and even go down
Yeah.
because of, you know, they're
Happens the same
artificially
where I
raising it.
live. So
Oh, yeah, it happens the
yeah, it
same.
has to be something, about the coast. I live in a coastal town too, so
Oh,
it
I bet
happens the
so.
same. You have these
Yes.
people investing in
Yeah.
homes, and
Yeah.
then they don't come, and no one's there for the whole year,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's unfortunate. So you must live in a real pretty area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, but we also have a some problems here with the tourism.
Uh,
It affects the communities, but it's not. We're not having, the housing issue in Spain is, very important too. But in this area, we are starting to see, the rents going up, and but the past few years we've been quite normal, but right now we're seeing the problem, too.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yes.
it's
Seems to be.
prices are going up. I think everywhere due
Yeah,
to, the cost of living, the economic situation globally, I guess.
yeah, yeah, yes. It does seem to be a global issue, and
Yeah,
what's really impacting California is the cost of gas. Uh, since the
yeah,
Iran war, that's going through the roof. I've seen as high as $7 in some places, and some places even higher. Uh,
yeah,
it- it- and it doesn't seem to be going down anytime soon. And what I'm proposing is we need a war-proof energy plan featuring wind, geothermal, and solar.
and
We need to
solar.
really
Yeah,
heavily invest in solar. A lot of people have solar panels, but we need to have high-powered solar cars, and then we don't have to worry about whatever happens elsewhere. The sun is free. Let's use it to our
yeah,
advantage, and uh, and if we have that, then we don't have to worry about the fluctuation of gas prices. And a lot of people think electric cars are the solution. Uh, I would be more in favor of hybrid, but there aren't enough charging stations around the state to deal with the electric cars,
yeah.
and they're not
Happens the same.
universal. Yeah, they're not universal. So,
Yeah,
not all charging stations are the same. But
yeah,
that is an option. But electricity cost is going to go up also uh, with data centers and other aspects of it. In fact, we're seeing prices going up uh, as we speak in California for electricity. So we need to, really a third wheel on that, and having solar powered cars would
yeah,
greatly mitigate a lot of the costs for transportation, just the normal everyday thing. Gas as it is now, it's not, if the have other options, eat pancakes, a bagel, or something like that. You have other options for breakfast. But with gas, there is no other option. If you have a gas-powered car, you
yeah,
have to have that. So it's not an option. So we're basically being held hostage by the gas companies. And as we speak, billionaires and Donald Trump, they're making money hand over fist with these higher gas prices, and
yeah,
it benefits them, but it doesn't benefit uh, average Americans, and
yeah.
uh, and in
99%.
particular average California. Yes, yes, yes. So we need to have policies that
Yeah,
that benefit us, the working class people, the middle class people,
yeah,
and and make sure that we are taken care of, and the billionaires, they can take care of themselves.
yeah. Another issue that you mentioned right now was AI and the AI centers, and how, they're using a lot of resources there.
Yes.
How is this issue making an impact on the communities?
Yes, well, they're in the process now. Many of the data centers, and they use a lot of water because they have to have water to
Yeah,
cool down.
yeah,
So water prices are going up, and they use a lot of electricity. So electricity cost is going to go up. So we're basically being held hostage by all of that. And
yeah,
our electricity in California is too high anyway, and it's not reliable. My where I live, uh, my power has gone out at least 70 times over the last 20 years that I've been here, anywhere from 5 minutes to 17, 18 hours, and uh, and we need to find a solution for that because right now it's really not stable as it is now, and to have prices continue to go up. Uh,
yeah.
that really impacts all of us. No one wants to be in the dark all the time, and while while people are moving away from uh, uh, gas gas stoves
Yeah,
into electric, they're pushing electric stoves now. Uh, that's going to also impact over time because we're trapped in terms of what we can do and what we can use. So we need to have our energy plan. It needs to be diversified so
yeah,
that we have stability in cost uh, and sustainability. Using all of it. Wind, solar, electric, gas, geothermal, even safe nuclear. We need to make sure we have that portfolio of
yeah,
energy to maintain ourselves over time. Because if any one area gets used more than the other, then they're going to gouge the
yeah,
public. So we need to keep everybody honest with
yeah,
options. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you, well, you have, the whole industry of the arts there. So I don't know if you have any issues about that or any concerns about that.
The arts.
Yeah, I mean Hollywood,
Uh, well, yeah, well,
in
AI
terms of
is certainly.
taxing and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, AI is certainly impacting them, and they're
yeah,
negotiating that, likenesses and so forth. How can they monetize that? How can they be fair? If
yeah,
and will that put, actors and directors and so forth out of work if they can,
yeah,
computer generate or use AI to make movies or television programs and even use the likenesses of people? Where does that leave, working people in terms of that? Not just
yeah,
the actors themselves, but even people behind the scenes, makeup, uh, the camera people, the lighting people, gaffers, and all of that. There, it impacts the whole industry, and
yeah,
so I don't think we've come to the end of that. I think there's more to come as the years unfold, how that will look. But
yeah,
I think, but Hollywood is changing, um, uh, and how that will impact uh, actors and everybody else fully has yet to be seen. I think there's more to come, but they're trying to
yeah,
protect themselves in contracts with name, likeness, image, um, uh, contracts, and so forth. And I think they've got something in
yeah,
place, but we'll see how things go.
yeah. We will see.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
definitely.
Well, nice conversation. I think we covered every issue, even those that we didn't know we would
Oh,
mention.
we're very thorough, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you
Well,
very much for your time.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a
Okay,
nice day.
you too. Take care. Thank you.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too.